of the briefing, you made a statement about that the Democrats are interested in giving health care to illegal immigrants.
Yes, they are.
U.S. law already prohibits that. It's a 1996 law saying that they cannot give unauthorized immigrants any federally subsidized health care coverage through Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, or the Children's Health Insurance Program. There seems to be a disconnect in the messaging.
Are you denying that Medicaid money has never gone to illegal aliens in the United States of America?
What difference at this point does it make?
I'm asking you if you can explain the disconnect in the messaging.
I most certainly can. The Democrats' proposal, their continuing resolution, let me just reiterate, the Republicans' continuing resolution was a clean continuing resolution. There was no partisan politics injected into it. There were no conservative wish lists injected to it. What the Republicans want, and still want to this very second, is a clean continuing resolution to fund the United States government. What did the Democrats want in their continuing resolution? They inserted a provision to undo a provision in the Working Families Tax Cut, the One Big Beautiful Bill, that ended taxpayer-funded health care illegal benefits for illegal aliens. Democrats' proposal would require Medicaid to pay more for emergency care provided to illegal aliens than Medicaid does for American patients who are disabled, elderly, or children. And this bill would have also allowed California to continue.
No way!
As you can see right there, yeah man, when you see the bill that says one thing, usually there's something totally different in it, by Democrats and Republicans.
Those are things that we ended, the Trump administration ended, with the passage and the signage of the One Big Beautiful Bill. And it is an undisputed fact, a fact that under the Biden administration, illegal aliens were absolutely receiving taxpayer-funded health care benefits. In fact, in fiscal year 2024, Medicaid costs for emergency services for illegal immigrants skyrocketed by 142% from the previous year to $9.1 billion. That's $9.1 billion taxpayer dollars that were going to emergency services for illegals. Between President Trump's last full fiscal year under his first administration and Joe Biden's last full fiscal year, Medicaid spending on emergency services for illegal immigrants nearly tripled. There was an increase of 196% between 2020 and 2024.
If during Biden like 14 million illegal people have arrived, and that is like 4% to the whole population that is in America, it makes no sense that Medicare rise so much.
I have a chart here for you, and I'm more than happy to email it to you. I'd also like to add, because some were asking dishonest questions yesterday about emergency rooms. In Southern California, according to healthcare professionals in 2023 under the Biden administration, Southern California's, quote, entire healthcare system was being bombarded with illegal immigrants and forcing American patients to endure longer wait times. In Denver, Colorado, the CEO of Denver Health stated that 8,000 illegal immigrants made 20,000 visits to the city's health system in 2023. Leaving an uncompensated bill totaling over $10 million. So when an illegal alien goes to the emergency room, who's paying for it? The American taxpayer. The main safety net hospital in Denver had to turn away patients due to the massive influx of illegal immigrants into the community, and UC Health Hospitals in 2024 reported their system was under stress from an increasing number of migrants. As a result, according to the head of emergency departments and urgent cares across the hospital system, quote, access is impeded for everyone. These are healthcare professionals who dealt with this directly, and there's a lot more where that came from. It is an undisputed fact that Democrats want to give taxpayer-funded healthcare benefits to illegal immigrants, period.
You gonna learn today.
Nobody is saying that we shouldn't help, but you shouldn't lie and help somebody better and then also say, nobody is doing anything. The fact that I'm like, come on, man.
I want to ask you about some of the policies that you've advocated, because they're exactly what we see implemented in these blue cities, like defunding the police.
No.
Oh, indeed.
That's not. We advocate for
Wait, I haven't asked a question yet. We'll get to. I've got a lot of questions. Believe me, and I'll give you time. So let's talk about this report that you issued when you were executive director, a policymaker's playbook. And I'll ask to enter it into the record, Mr. Chairman.
Great.
Without objection.
Thank you. In this report, you advocate, and I quote now, defunding the police because the long-term goal is fundamentally to reimagine how the state serves its citizens in the project of public safety. You go on to say police departments traumatize residents through a destructive cycle of racist over-policing, and the answer is not to add any more money to police budgets.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
Talk to me about, I mean, why is it that denying policing to the most vulnerable communities is a solution? I know that's what the blue cities are doing, but why is that a good idea?
Why would you tell people that need protection, minority, poor, or whatever, we're going to defund the cops so they can't arrest you? Actually, they need it more. As a person that work in poor neighborhoods, why would I want less cops?
Well, look, I in no way stand with defunding law enforcement. I mean,
That's what your report says.
Sheriff Mike Sheridan, who taught me how to drive when I was 16 years old.
Wait. Your report, when your executive director said you wanted to defund the police, do you renounce this report? Mr. Jackson, do you renounce the report that you authored as executive director? Here it is.
You're the second senator to bring up an op-ed or
This isn't an op-ed. This is your report, a policymaker's playbook to reduce gun violence without policing communities.
Okay.
Community Justice Action Fund, copyright 2023, when you were executive director. Now you say you don't know anything about it. Now you say that you haven't heard of it, just like the Democrats who all of a sudden say, oh, we're all for the police. They've been advocating defunding them for years.
How can you write a report with your name on it and be like, I never wrote it? Like, how? Like, it doesn't make any your name is on the thing. You're the executive director.
Okay, well, you can look at documents or you can look at
My
results.
question is, do you renounce this report now? You say you no longer read this.
And my answer is that I led the efforts to invest $42 billion in law enforcement.
You've advocated defunding the police as executive director of an organization that you still lead and are affiliated with.
Never see me advocate for that directly. What you see me advocate for
what is this then?
Proof, receipt, consequence. How? That's like me saying, hey man, I never advocate for McDonald's, but I wear a shirt of McDonald's. Well, I used to work 20 years. I used to work. The idea that you want to be like, no, I always cared about Burger King.
For that directly. What you see me advocate for is a comprehensive approach to reducing violence.
Right, the comprehensive approach is defunding the police, which is what this says.
The entire time.
This is so typical of what the Democrats do now. After your policies have transparently failed and led to the deaths of millions of Americans, now you say you've never heard of defunding.
This is so you can write a report about defunding the police. And we tell you, did you write this a few years ago that you defund the police? You're like, well, not really. It was a comprehensive approach. What are you saying? Why can't you just say the thing that you meant and stay with that energy? Because you didn't like the consequence that happened with that energy. So you gaslight me.
Of millions of Americans, now you say you've never heard of defunding the police. Your own report recommends it on page after page after page. Let me ask about something else you say. Here's what you say we ought to invest in. Instead of funding the police, here's what we ought to invest in. We need to invest in programs that acknowledge the need for safe space initiatives led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender nonconforming people. What's two-spirit?
Well, look, I don't know exactly. You guys are pulling some interesting quotes.
He is laughing. He's blaming you for reading his report wrong. You tell him what he wrote, and it was 2 years ago, and now he's laughing like, where did you guys read it? How do you...
Well, look, I don't know exactly. You guys are pulling some interesting quotes.
It's you. You wrote it. Why are you so hypocritical? And if you're not, why are you gaslighting me?
This is from your report.
If you look at the report, the focus is on investing in violence intervention, outreach workers.
You say that you shouldn't invest in the police, but we ought to invest in two-spirit community programs that acknowledge two-spirit individuals.
We are not going to discriminate
against that.
We're not going to discriminate against any nonprofit that
What
wants
is
to help us prevent violence in our community.
What is two-spirit? You say don't fund the police, but do fund programs that create safe spaces for two-spirit people. What is? I just want to know. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Well, I honestly, I'm not completely aware of the language or the
spirit
of how that was written. But what I'm telling you is that what
is a two-spirit individual? I mean, really, this is your policymaker's playbook. You are the witness called by the Democrats on this committee, so I assume you reflect their views. Well, you don't want to fund the police. You want to fund safe spaces for two-spirit individuals. What is a two-spirit person?
I feel like I'm looking at a two-faced individual because you talk about
Oh,
reducing
no, sir.
violence.
You're looking at somebody who's
You're also
reading you
speaking
your
out
own
against
words, and I'd like to hear an
violence
answer.
program.
Two-spirit people refers to gender identity and cultural role found in many indigenous and North American culture. It's not the same as being transgender, gay, or bisexual, although it can overlap with those ideas. If you're going to advocate for certain people to invest in something while you're removing the money from someone else and at the same time saying, I never really want to do that, it was just a comprehensive report, I don't think you're actually showing a lot of respect to two-spirit people. You're just using them.
You don't have any solutions. You want to invest in gobbledygook and take away money from police officers who actually keep our communities safe, and when you're called on the record, you deny it. It's all there in black and white, and your record is there in black and white, and it's a disgrace.
We reduced homicides by 31%, and as someone who's been shot and nearly killed, I take offense that you would think that
I
the
take
last
offense
13
that you won't
years
answer my
were not
questions,
focused on
that you
reducing
deny your
violence.
own words, and that you are leading this committee astray, and frankly, sir, your policies are absurd. They're absurd.
You wrote a report. You're an executive director of something important. But then you're like, hey, whatever I wrote, it was a comprehensive approach.
What you see me
So
advocate for
what is this
a
then?
comprehensive approach.
And then you did another approach, adding certain people that you care about, but then you can't even explain what they are and why you care about them.
Well, look, I don't know exactly. You guys are pulling some interesting.
But then you want me to trust you that you lowered crime by a certain percentage?
Well, look, I don't know exactly. You guys are pulling some interesting.
I don't know. If you have so much gaslighting and pandering in unique way, I don't have a reason to even pander to you because you just keep pandering away and still think you're right.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Durlo que ta verdetta welcome.